Fun. What's up, Toe Talk Nation? Woo, 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 woo. Hey, we're getting started. Episode one. Me and Julius. My name's Ryan Ward. I am excited, so excited to have started this. Me and Julius have been talking about this for quite a while. It feels like a while, but I do want to say real quick that when it comes to what we're doing with the podcast and to kick everything off, we wouldn't be here at all if it wasn't for the work this guy's been doing. Julius Galan, he's been working. I mean, what has it been? 7 years you've been doing Toe Talk Nation?
Yep, ever since I started in the towing industry. Yep.
So, obviously this first episode is introductions. We got to tell everybody who we are, and why we get to have some kind of an opinion on the towing industry, world, etc. There you go. So you start Toe Talk Nation. Like, how do you even start this, dude? Like, you just get on Facebook and like, man, I'm gonna create a group and I just want a couple guys to tell me what's going on.
So, uh, I'll be honest, I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. I had no
Okay.
idea. I had no idea of anything. So I was
Yeah,
like, you
but
know
what but
what?
what makes you think about Facebook doing it? Like, I don't know why, like, because I did this
Just
too. I started, didn't know what I was doing, and I didn't think of, Facebook, as my solution.
well, here's the thing. I mean, we could go way crazy with this, but I'm gonna try to keep it as short and simple as I can.
Okay, okay.
Um, I just didn't know where to even start. And Facebook, the way the platform is, the way the social media is on Facebook, you could do groups. You can't do that on Instagram. You can't do that on any other social media, really, to get that amount of people to try to, talk to. So that's why I went to Facebook instead of any of the other platforms at the time, because they just had a better platform when it
O
came to group things and sessions
okay.
and talking and things like
Okay,
that.
so here's the question. So you get on Facebook. Now, is this before or after you bought a tow truck? Because I think we gotta start from the very beginning, and did you work for any tow companies before you bought a tow truck?
So I I I used to work another job, and I worked 2 jobs at the time, and I worked at a dealership, and we bought a tow truck, and I ran that dealership in the morning, and then I would go to work on second shift. And when we bought that truck, I had a little bit of experience here and there, just towing from auctions and things like that. Nothing crazy, nothing involved, nothing about billing, nothing about the industry. It was just
Okay,
not
so
for
you're working.
hire.
Yeah, you're working for a car lot kind of at the time, running a tow truck, picking up cars from auction, stuff like this. Of course, you mentioned second shift, which tells me you're probably an hourly guy at that time, running to where, the industry seems to be half and half. You got companies that pay hourly to do this, to work this industry, and you got maybe a tip in the scale more on commission, right? I think a ton, it's probably, what, I don't know, 60-40, something like that. When a lot of tow companies are doing commission, but you're saying you were working for a car lot, they're paying you hourly, to run the truck.
Right. Well, run the truck and the car lot. So I would do
Oh,
sales.
sh oh, shit, you're doing
I
selling
did it.
cars too?
I was selling cars. I was running it. I was a manager. It was a really busy time for me, but I was young. I mean, at the time,
It's
I had all
20s?
the time. Yeah,
20s?
yeah. I was 21, I think, or 20.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow,
something like
yeah, a
that.
little younger than me for
2021.
sure.
What's
Yeah,
that?
a little younger than me for sure. I didn't start until I was, mid-20s. I think I have about 17 years right now, so I'd have to go back and actually count down, to see exactly when. So you grab a tow truck or you're working a tow truck at a car lot, and then it spins off from there. Tell me what's next.
So the car lot ended up closing up. So I just worked at my other job. Did that for a long time. What
Which was
happened
not
was
towing, right? Which was
it
not
was not
towing?
towing. It was
Okay,
not
yeah, we're
towing.
getting the build up, dude. I'm so
Yeah,
excited to
that
hear
that was
when
that
we
was like
start the
my
nation.
that
Woo!
was that was my career in a sense. That was my main bread and butter. I didn't have kids or anything at the time.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
So fast forward, that job, I was trying to make my way through it, try to, get promotions, do all the things that you want to do as an employee, try to move on up.
Yeah, yeah.
And the company was
Making a
very
living.
yeah, the company was very what I would I like to keep it nice, but
Yeah.
it
Well,
was
hey,
it,
it's up
yeah,
to you, dog. You gotta spit it or not.
yeah, hey, listen, if you weren't a fucking friend, or you weren't in if you weren't in the group,
Yeah, yeah.
you
Got it.
didn't go nowhere. And
Yeah, got it.
I was there for 19 years, and I said, "You know what?" I went for an interview to go first shift because third shift was killing me, and
You were
they
there for
denied.
19 years?
Yeah, yeah.
Dude, that's a long time, dude.
Yeah, yeah. They denied me that first shift job because they didn't want me to beef with the guy from third shift. So they gave it
Got
to
it.
him instead of me.
Yeah,
And
wow.
I said, "You know what? I got to do something."
Bastards.
Yeah, so I got the idea of going back into the towing because it was universal.
Okay.
I could go home and sleep when I get a call. I wake up, I go get the call, do my thing, try to make a couple extra bucks and kind of have my
Oh,
career to pay the bills and kind of get this
yeah.
off the road. So I juggled both for
Okay,
4
so
years.
you're out of the other job, and then you're saying that that you grabbed a tow truck? You bought a tow truck and started this, or started it, and then like tell me I'm a little confused on the crossover.
So there was no crossover. There was
Okay.
just me juggling both for 4 years. I started my towing business and I worked my career at the same time. So it's like I had 2 jobs.
Got it.
So I would tow all day or whatever the case may be when it came to jobs. And, as I did that, I would grab sleep where I could. Then I would go to work at night, work all night, and then do the same thing again. And then I
Just
would work on
curious,
the
the night
weekend.
job, you've piqued my interest because I don't know this about you. I mean, you're on the streets. Like, what are you doing at night to make money outside of towing, dude? You selling yourself, dude? I mean, he's the man of
Ah,
the streets.
that
Well, wait, hey, what is this, dude? I know Uber didn't
uh,
exist then, so you weren't Ubering. Like, what was going on, dude? Hey, I now
so
I know it's fucked up because you're laughing and more like, oh
see, and
shit.
that's
Oh,
why listen, Brian and I hit it off so good because he could just hit me, and it'd just be so funny that you can't just do nothing but laugh. But no, I wasn't a streetwalker. I wasn't nothing like
okay.
that. I
Dude,
didn't
I'm
sell
picturing
my.
you like a stilettos on the side, being
That,
like, "Oh man, I gotta make some
hey,
rent."
I tell you
Rent.
what, if I had it, I would, but I don't got it. So
Okay, okay, okay. So you're working a
so
night job. You got
yep,
towing going during
yep,
the
yep,
day. All right, keep it
yep.
going with me.
Yep, yep. So, in the day, I would get the calls as they come, like I was saying, and you know what, man, it was pretty good. I met a lot of people in the beginning that kind of, just they gave me a chance. Like I would go sell myself in a sense of, go to
Right.
shops, go to just go everywhere I could that involved cars and just sell myself, sell my business, my truck. One thing I will say, I was always uniformed. That is huge in the industry, as much as people may think that it's not. When you go represent your company, you have to represent it. And when I say that, if you walk in there with cut off t-shirt, shorts, and just sneakers or just
Yeah.
whatever, just go in there,
Yeah.
whatever, you're gonna get that whatever response.
Yeah.
You can definitely sift certain clients, better clients by dressing accordingly. Uniformed is a big thing. I wore like gray dicky pants and my logo and everything on my shirt. That was my uniform. And if I ever got in my truck, other than if I had to just move it around or go tow a friend, I
Hmm.
was always in a uniform. And all the
Yeah.
companies that I work for, they
Yeah.
appreciated it. And that's
Hey,
what got me good contracts.
I think it's important too. So somewhere in there of you grabbing the truck and doing the two jobs like you're talking about, somewhere in there, you get on Facebook and you start was it called Toe Talk Nation to begin with, or was it called something else originally? I don't
Um,
remember.
Originally it was Tow Talk. And then years later I switched it to Tow Talk Nation.
Yeah, well, I
Um,
think on Facebook you can do like a lot of variations of the name, so it was probably a good move to put the word nation. How'd you come up with that? Just curious.
A friend of mine, a really, really, really good friend of mine, and we were talking, and I'm like, yo, I just kind of need to, kind of set the group apart from, things, and he came up with the nation part, and I appreciate him for doing that because, that's what we stuck with, and that's what we're going to continue to go with. We're not going to
Yeah.
change it. We're going to keep moving forward with it.
Well, I'm
The
hope not,
logo was
dude, because I'm trying to ride your coattails here, dude. I mean, shit. Can't be changing shit. Damn.
Ryan. Wait till we get to you, buddy. You're
Yeah.
way more
eh,
successful than I.
I don't know about that. But hey, okay, so you've started Toe Talk Nation, and you did this as a way to uh get information back and forth inside the industry with other guys.
Yes.
And now it
Yes.
probably starts off with like what? One, two, three people, four people, and
Oh,
what are
yeah,
you
dude,
doing? Are you posting videos or are you just like saying,
it
"Hey guys, can you help me? Like
"Come
I don't know what
join
I'm
me!
doing."
Come join me! I need help! I need
Yeah,
help!"
I don't know, right? Yeah, yeah.
It honestly, man, I never thought it would come to what it is today and have some of the solid people that we have in our group. And when I say solid, I mean they're there, either posting stuff, helping people, having conversations, whatever the case may be, whatever.
Just the Facebook group right now, Julius has 90, almost right at 96,000 followers, man.
I,
It's
I,
big.
I
And all the social media, all of it wrapped into one. You're talking about 119,000 people right now hooked onto the Toe Talk Nation flag.
I I don't even know how. I can't even give you the formula to make that happen. It's just great people coming over to, help out or just add context to things, like
Yeah.
that right there is like, I don't know, man. I'm just very appreciative for everybody in a sense.
So
Like
when did you notice
they,
that it started to turn into people just kind of uploading, toe questions, towing fails, what to do, what not to
um,
do, that kind of stuff. Like, because at
that,
some point it
that,
turned into that, what you see today. And I'm curious to know when that changeover happened.
that transition was just I don't know, man. At some point, I just saw thousands and thousands of people just and not in a short amount of time, but you don't pay attention to the numbers, right? Like
Yeah,
at
this is
least
7 years.
didn't. Yeah, I didn't pay attention to the numbers for a long time, like until the one day I think I checked.
Well,
I
here's the biggest thing nobody knows that's listening to this right now. It's like, okay, you've got a job where you make money, right? Okay, well, those are this. Running a Facebook page and starting social media doesn't make you any money. So the impressive
no,
part of what I'm talking to you about is the fact
no.
that you've been running this for 7 years out of the kindness of your heart. I mean, it's
It
not
it
like every time you go pick up the phone, it's like, oh man, I got to mess with this and do this thing, and there's no money attached. And what I'm saying is, it's super impressive to talk about because most people won't do that. They will not mess with something, especially that doesn't make them any money. And there's a lot of people who have hobbies and passions and all those things. Fine, and maybe this is exactly yours, but it's super
right.
impressive that you did it for as long as you have and still continue to do it today.
Well, thank you. It is cumbersome at time because I'm managing a lot of messages sometimes, a lot of approvals because everything that goes in goes through
I've seen
me.
hundreds of messages, hundreds, like
Yeah.
1000. Like that's a lot, dude.
Yeah, yeah, and then sifting through spam and making sure some of the quality content gets on, and then you're sitting there juggling with yourself trying to figure out, like, is this something that somebody wants to see or talk about or whatever the case may be, because there's certain subjects that it's like, it's toe related, but is it something related to the industry that they're gonna wanna see and talk about? Don't get me wrong, I don't get it right all the time, but
Yeah, of
some of the
course.
stuff that comes through, if you guys could see it, you're gonna be like, well, this has nothing to do with towing." And then there's hard ones like GoFundMe's. Unfortunately, I don't do GoFundMe's, and the reason why is because I don't know anybody that is truthfully putting it out there, and sometimes it's not. It's unfortunate. So the
Yeah, you
only way
don't
to
know what's a
combat
scam
that
and what's not.
you
Yeah,
just don't know, and I'd hate for somebody to come to me and say, "Hey, I got scammed for my money." Yes, GoFundMe will give you your money back, but we just don't do it, and no offense to anybody that puts it on, no offense, to what you're going through. I'm sorry, I truly am, but GoFundMe's, I'm sorry, it just can't be
yeah,
done. It can
I,
be, but I can't let it
yeah.
through just for the simple fact. And there's some heartfelt stories out there, and
There
it's
are, but
unfortunate.
it also takes 2 seconds for me to make a heartfelt story with AI right now in this world we live in 2026 and do a GoFundMe page and it not be real at all. And that is, the scammers right now are rampant with everything, even in the industry so far is toes back and forth. The scammers have picked up, and that's maybe for a different episode we'll get into scammers, but
Right, right,
but
right.
yeah, I get why you wouldn't have that kind of stuff on the nation. It's very hard to manage, and then you're going to be the bad guy in the end when it goes south.
And I guess I have to be, but again, it's just something I can't, man. I had a
Okay.
personal friend reach
Yeah.
out, and I even denied that because if I didn't let
Ooh.
everybody else,
Yeah.
if I didn't let everybody else, how can I let him? Like I had to,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, so I get
So
back on track here.
yeah.
So, you're operating a tow company, working at night, and then tell me about your truck that you bought. What was that? Wheel lift, rollback. What was it? The first. What would you
So
have?
that was a very that's a whole another episode as well. But
Oh
I'll
man, really?
well, dude, it was tough trying to find a tow truck, trying to find a reputable company, trying to find something that would work for me. Like I said, I didn't know what I was doing. I wanted to do it all or as much as I
Yeah.
could. I'd never wanted to say no to a
Yeah.
job.
And this is mid
Um,
2000s. When is this actually? This is probably
that is, let's see,
somewhere
that
around
was
there.
2019.
Oh, okay. Okay, so 19. Yeah. So we had
Yeah.
apps to God, if there was just an app for that, you know.
Ye-
Okay, so
yeah,
there's no app
yeah.
at that time. There's no
If
apps at
the
that time.
if the tow trucks app was around, I mean, that would
Yeah,
have
yeah.
made my job a lot easier, or not my job, my mission to get the truck that I was looking for.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, it wasn't
No, it
there
wasn't
at the
there.
time. But it's here now.
Yeah, yeah.
Make
Okay,
sure you guys
so
check that out. But
yeah.
so when I bought the first truck I bought was a 2019 F750. Yes, it was new. A lot of people
Oh, you
really
got a new
harped on.
one?
Yeah, I bought a brand new from
That's
TLC.
awesome.
Lisa was awesome down at TLC. She was my girl, man. She took care of me. She helped me out.
Yeah, that's
And
awesome.
honestly,
Are they
a
close to you?
girl help.
Are they
Huh?
close to
What's
you? Are they close to you? Is
no,
no,
no.
no,
I'm in
they're a ways away.
Pennsylvania. Yep,
Yeah,
she's in Florida.
yeah.
But
Road
she
trip,
was
baby.
awesome.
Road trip.
Yeah,
Whoop,
yeah.
whoop.
She was, dude. She helped me. I didn't know what I was doing. Like I said, she helped me through the build process. She helped me locate the truck, or just get me to get that SM50. She gave me a great deal. She was fantastic.
That
I
was
still talk to
19.
her.
She still
Yep,
work there?
she's the owner. She still works
Oh,
there.
awesome. Okay, okay.
She is awesome. She's fantastic. I still have a talking relationship with her still.
Nice.
We every
Nice.
once in a while if I see her at a show or whatnot, we talk.
Yeah, say hi.
Yeah, she's great. But yeah, I had a rollback F750. It was a great truck. I know a lot of people do not like them, for whatever
I've got a couple
reasons,
of them,
but
dude. I love them. I don't know what you're talking about.
hey, listen, for me, it did me good service. I never had a problem. Well, I shouldn't say I never had a problem, but Ford
Yeah.
stood
Hey,
by any
there's
problem that I
always
had.
problems. There's always
Always.
problems. Doesn't matter
I
what
have
kind of
a
truck you have, what it doesn't
That's
matter.
right.
I don't want to hear that shit.
I had other trucks. We could talk about trucks all day.
Well, okay, so
With the problem.
you started off with the flatbed, but then you got a wheel lift right after, or when did you get a wheel lift and
So
moved
the
in?
wheel lift came years later. I bought a F550 wrecker. That was 2000. I forget what year it was.
Just curious, Jordan Miller, Century, like what?
Miller's my
Okay.
favorite. I had a Jerdan, the
Ooh, oh
750.
god, dude, you're name dropping already, dude. We just started this thing, dude.
Ah,
You're name
look,
dropping.
man, I had the Jerdan 750. I'm not
Yeah.
saying that it was bad, but it
Oh, the
missed a
rollback
lot of
was a
mark.
rollback was a
Yep.
Jordan. Okay,
The
yeah, yeah, yeah.
rollback was a Jerdan 22 and a half foot rollback. It was nice. Don't get me wrong. It was nice. I had
Yeah.
a winch remote, which was a lifesaver at a lot of times. But what I will say is when I got my Century, well, I had a Century F550 that was it was a nice stinger. I had no complaints with it.
Was it an
And
autoloader
then
or was it a conventional?
it was autoloader. Yeah,
Okay. So
yeah.
you've got some experience now with rollbacks and wheel lifts. And how many trucks do you get up to before you start to go the other direction?
3. We had 3
Okay.
total.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah, but I was a one-man band. It was tough to find people that I could trust, and trust is hard to give, but it was hard for me to find somebody that I could put in a brand new truck and kind of just let them go, So I had trust issues with new trucks, and that was one of the downfalls to it, And I understood some of the guys that were giving me a hard time about buying new versus used because
Hmm.
used you don't care as much about. If it gets a little scratch or something happens, it's not as big of a deal. And I
Yeah, of
understand
course.
that now versus before, but I bought new or newer for the reason of problems. The
Dude, yeah,
problems that
no,
we
of
were
course.
talking
Of
about,
course.
I
Less
wanted
time in
it
the
to be
shop. Time is money,
Well,
baby. Time is money.
and I wanted it to be warranted, in the time that I owned it so that I didn't have to come up with big expensive. Yeah, it was a big payment at the end of the month, but at least if something went, it was covered. So that's
Yeah.
why that was my mindset about buying new versus used.
I get it. And I think everybody will kind of get the fact that, me and you are kind of looking at the industry through the eyes of somebody who wanted to own a truck and own it and try to build a business. And I did not work for a tow company in when I started. So you really didn't really either. It kind of sounds like you worked at an auto shop and then all of a sudden you get into towing and trying to do that business. But you were doing that and something else at night to make money. Can't tell everybody what that was, obviously. So the question mark. Yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and leave it there. I won't
No,
dig
no,
into it, I promise, anymore.
hey, I'm
I
sorry.
won't dig
I'm
into it
really bad.
anymore.
I'm
Um,
really bad about jumping around, but
well, yeah,
I
yeah,
used to work
but
I used to work at a factory that made batteries. And I made automotive batteries.
oh, yeah, that's
I,
exactly what it is. Yeah, yeah, no
I
problem. No more
I
questions.
made
Yeah, I
hey,
got it.
listen,
We're
I
staying off
made
the subject.
Caterpillar batteries. I
Okay,
made
yeah,
automotive
dude.
batteries. Like that's what I did. I was a foreman
Yeah, got it.
in my
Everyone believes you. Everyone believes you. It's
I was a
totally cool. Yeah,
foreman
yeah.
in my
Okay,
department.
okay.
Like
So at some point, yeah. So we can't get into that. So at some point, you start a mechanic shop, though, right? Like you start an
yes,
auto shop.
yes. So uh, I got fired from my
Oh
job.
shit!
Yeah, yeah.
The
I
night
got
job.
fired.
The night
What
job.
the
I'm
Yeah.
sure you got fired.
I got fired, and that's just the honest to God's truth. I got
Yeah.
fired. I was
Okay. Yeah.
using
Yeah.
all my, and I'm gonna be flat out. I was using my vacation days, and the owner kind of reached out and was like, "Hey, we need to talk." And I was just like, "No, we don't, because I'm not even on the clock. I'm not using your
Oh,
phone. I'm using my own phone."
yeah.
And I didn't
Got it. You hit him
respond to
like
any of
that, huh? Wow.
I didn't respond to any of his texts or anything, and he kept texting me, and he just fired me.
Okay.
And
Got
that's
it.
and that's cool.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah. Yeah.
okay.
It leads you to here,
Um,
baby. Leads you to here.
well, that's just it. So we ended up buying an automotive repair shop. And I had the towing going at the same time. It was very tough. It's not easy spreading yourself thin and really, really thin when it comes to time and just responsibilities. People are very important. And what I've
Yeah.
learned is that you got to treat them with respect. You got to treat them good. You pay them well. You just take care of them as you would like to be taken care of. Because if you ever work for somebody else that you didn't like what they did, don't keep that same thing going
Of
in your
course.
business.
Yeah. Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, man. Okay. So that takes us where we're at today. You've got your auto repair business going. You still doing towing? You still doing any tow truck stuff besides
No.
this cool platform you got going, dude?
So I sold my last truck, which was I bought that new too. It was a 2024 International MV607. That had a Century on it. I had that one custom built as well. Um,
Woo! Same place?
yeah, no, no, they don't sell
Oh my
Century
God,
at
you tell Lisa
TLC.
you got a truck somewhere else?
But look,
She knows now,
man,
dog.
Ryan,
She knows
look,
now.
Look, I
I'm
will
just
say
playing.
this is where the difference between Jerdan and Century really arose when it came to quality. And again, this is my
Yes.
opinion.
Yeah, this is just Julius's opinion.
This is
This is
my
not the
opinion.
platform as a whole opinion. Yes.
No, no, everybody has their opinions, and this is
Yeah, yeah,
mine. There's
yeah,
no, some people like tomatoes, some people don't. Okay, and
yeah. I
everybody
got
has
it.
their own
Yeah,
outlook
yeah.
or opinion on that. So what I will say about the Century is, when it came down just to the license plate holder, and I know this is
Oh, this is
minuscule when it
hilarious.
comes
Nah,
to,
dude, it's all part of it, man. It's all part of it.
so like when you got a Jerdan, it was plastic. When you got a Century, they gave you locking nuts. They gave you a good backing plate, like something solid to hold that plate in. And
Got
that
it,
was like one of the biggest I wouldn't say like game changers for me, but that was like one of just the smaller
dude. If it made you love it, if
details.
it's on, yeah, if it made you love it, it made you love it, dude.
And
It is
and
what it
you know
is.
what? The stinger on the back, I got an auto grip and it was fantastic.
That's
Uh
awesome. Backup
I
camera,
had a
all the 9 yards.
Oh, dude, I had cameras everywhere. I had a
Ooh,
remote. The remote was big. It was from Lodar. It
yeah.
was like I
I bet
forget
it
how many
was
switch.
big. How big was the remote, dude? Was it,
Oh,
a good
I
size?
don't know. I would say about like 10 inches.
Yeah. Hey, it's my story, dude. I'm telling it. This remote is huge.
So
Uh,
that remote ended up handling pretty much everything on the bed. I could sit inside of it, watch my cameras. I know it
nice.
sounds bougie, but it's actually kept me safe. I could
Yeah.
operate things outside and inside the cab needed be. Like I could step away from the wreck, I could step away from certain things so that I didn't get hurt, and I can watch certain things so I didn't cause damage. So,
Yeah.
that's another episode, but that remote was worth its weight in gold, both of them. Even the little
Yeah, of
winch
course.
remote that I had, I mean, that was
Yeah.
an extra set of hands. While I was under the car,
Yeah.
I wasn't doing damage under the car. I could put a pool noodle. I could get a different
Yeah.
strap. I could see it didn't work. When you're at your controls, that just kind of you kind of limit yourself. And again, you do what you got to do with what you have. But those things were just very important to me.
Well, I'm a little jealous that you got to start off with a brand new truck, man. I would have loved, I dreamed about having a new truck to run as an operator. Dreamed about it, man. I would have loved to have had that experience. By the time I bought my first brand new tow truck, I was already not towing full time because, you run any business, there's all these facets that you have to watch. And if you're
Absolutely.
doing, I learned really quickly that, I'm in the truck running jobs, I'm answering the phone, trying to be a dispatcher. And, it kind of hit me. I get out of the truck one day and I'm like, oh my gosh, this person's talking to me. I'm here to grab their car and get them from point A to point B and trying to be nice and professional and all those things. My phone's blowing up, and if I don't answer this phone right now, I'm going to lose this next job or whatever I've got in front of me. And I'm like, oh my gosh! And I got to tell this person over here, I'm sorry, sir. Hold on, just 1 second. Let me grab this phone real fast. And you kind of put them off, and then you're answering the phone. Then you're trying to be quick on the phone with these people. Take all their information real quick, give them a prize, say okay, hey, yeah, high five. And all of a sudden, I got another job, and I get to a stopping point. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm not doing either job any good. I'm not answering the phones good. I'm not dealing with the customers in front of me or members, depending on what you're doing in the industry. And you got to make a decision. What am I doing? And so I had to get out of the truck a little bit more to guide jobs and get them out and deal with people on the phone better. Because a lot of guys come into the industry and they've never worked the other parts of the industry.
That's
I
right.
mean, what does it look like to dispatch? Well, some people get to experience both, but you take a lot of operators who have never experienced dispatching, and they might think they know. Oh, I can do that. I'll sit in the office and take all the phone calls. That's easy work. That's nothing. I'm out here on the
No, it's
roadside.
not.
Man, it is not easy, dude. When the
No, it's not.
phones start going off, and depending on how much volume you have, yes, it could be very easy if you're talking about only running, 10 jobs a day in 24 hours. That could be manageable. That could be pretty easy. But you start getting up there in volume. A lot of the operators at the companies that I have, they're out there working 10, well, I say 10 is probably not realistic. They're probably averaging 15 to 16 jobs a day, just on the towing side, in their, if you want to call it a shift or their day on or whatever you want to call it. But, if the average tow in our area takes 1.25 hours to complete, that's a lot of time, man. That's a lot of time
That's a
to
lot
do
of time.
jobs. So, they don't really understand back and forth. So I didn't do the job very good. So I had to, or I couldn't juggle them very good. So I had to figure out, where my lane was. And it's, I think any of the business owners in towing will always tell you it's so difficult because when things get hard, you wanna divert back to what you know. And I think every operator does this in life, whether they own a tow company or they just work for one or this or that. I think it's like just human nature. To get frustrated with something and want to just go back to what you know and not deal with all the problems that are coming at you, in the industry. So, I definitely feel that. And is that why you kind of got out of towing and started just doing just the shop or what?
No, it was well, the shop was more lucrative than the
Than what
towing,
you were doing at towing at the time?
and the reason why is because I didn't have a driver. I went as far as offering to buy a new truck for somebody else.
Mhm.
after I sold my last truck, offering to buy a tow truck for them, giving them 40% of whatever they made.
Yeah, 40%
Um,
is actually a big number, man. Most companies don't touch that. That's a big
right.
number. Yeah.
And I was gonna give them basically Monday through Friday, on
Ooh, the
like
sweet
banker's
shit, baby.
hours.
Sweet
Yeah,
shit.
yeah, banker's hours. If they wanted to work more, obviously they could. I would take
Still couldn't
weekends and
find it, huh?
nights. Yeah, I still couldn't find it. And I was offering this to people in the industry, not trying to steal people, but I
Yeah,
heard
dude,
them
you gotta do what
bitching.
you gotta do, baby.
Well, the thing is I heard them bitching about where they worked.
Mhm.
And, I'm like, hey, not for nothing. Look, this is what I have to offer, but they didn't want to leave. So why are you
Yeah.
complaining about a company that you don't like, but you won't leave? And I'm offering you all this in
Yeah. You
return
get you
for
get
if
that a
you let.
lot. I think it's every industry, you know? Every industry
I,
has a
I mean,
bunch of bullshitters.
that's a good way to, and that is a good way to put it. It's just, you just come to realization that like it's not. It's not something that you could continue to do because I was making a payment on a truck that I wasn't. Dude, I had that truck for, man, I think I had it for like almost 2 years, or if
Okay.
not 2 years. And
Yeah.
I uh I only had 14,000 miles on it when I sold it.
So, but just to clear for everybody that's listening, you were trying to work. So you're running the tow truck during the entire time you have it. You're getting up at 11, 2 in the morning. To do what? Do a tire change if they call you. Do
Hey,
just tow service, whatever. So
whatever.
well,
If the
I'm
money was
saying,
there, I was going.
yeah. Well, the reason I'm bringing this up is I want everybody to know that there's a lot of people out there that talk about this industry, whether it be other podcasts, whether it be just interviews and things like that. They talk about it from a point in the industry, or from a viewpoint in the industry that they don't have when it comes to actually having to be the guy to get out and go perform the service. It's one thing to be in the towing industry and never have towed a car. I see that all the time, and that's fine. There's a place for everything, but I want to make sure everybody knows that when it comes to this industry and this job, that they know that you and I have done the bullshit.
Oh
I
yeah.
got so many stories about the bullshit,
Oh,
out
oh
fighting
yeah.
rain, storms. I'm like, dude, I shouldn't even be out here. Dude,
Storms.
there's lightning strikes around me. I'm gonna go pull underneath the canopy and hide the truck from getting from hail damage and this and that, so I don't got to deal with the guy who owns it. Holy shit!
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Snow. We get snow. We get rain. We get wind. We get it all here in Pennsylvania. We get some
Yeah,
crazy weather here sometimes, and I know other states and parts of the country
yeah.
is different, and around the world, to be honest. But I've been laying in puddles. And I hate water. I hate
Well,
being in
that's
water. I made that
perfect.
comment before on on one of the posts.
Yeah.
I don't know
Well,
what's in the water. I hate getting in the water.
yeah, dude.
I'm not a big fan of it. Like, don't worry, I take
But
showers, but
But I
I
wanna make
just
sure that
don't like.
yeah, I wanna make sure that we said that because I want everyone to know that, when it comes to us talking about this industry, this is not a point of view of like, "Oh, I own a tow company," or "I had a tow company, I never went out and did the job." Dude, that's not the case at all. I mean, every operator can say, "Oh, I worked 15 years in the industry," but, I mean, another perspective is to work it and own it at the same time and really feel the pressure of what it looks like. It's a completely different perception at all to go work for somebody else and let them worry about the money, and that's very difficult just to go out there and be an operator. But I want to make sure everybody knows that we have a very good perspective of what's realistic in the industry, from an owner's point of view, from a operator's point of view, and so it gives us the right to talk about what the hell we're talking about. That we're
Hmm.
not just some bullshit artists that are like, "Oh, this is a cool industry. Let me talk about it." And
Yeah.
even though I've never done the job, I'm going to give you my opinion about the job.
Right.
Man, bullshit. Get up there at midnight and go do a police call and have, state troopers asking you, "Hey, man, how long is it going to take to clear the
Yeah.
roadway?" And you're
Oh yeah.
calling for backup and it ain't coming, man. And
Right.
everyone's looking at you and you're like, "Oh, shit, get out the dustpan, get out a blower if you even have that." I never had that. I'm out there
Yeah.
with the broom just sweeping the shit out of stuff, trying to get it done as fast as I can,
Yep.
and oh, man, I just, the feelings of all that, I know what it's like to be that guy. And that's basically what I was saying is if we know that, it gives us the right to talk and to be a part of what we're doing. And I am super excited to be doing this with you, doing the podcast. I can't wait for all the episodes to come. That we got a lot of cool topics, a lot of cool subjects that we'll be hitting, and a lot of guests I've got lined up. And I'm sure that you've got a couple in mind too. People that we can bring on, discuss the industry, discuss what we're doing, and kick some ass.
Yeah. Yeah. And
You
one
know,
thing I will say, is we're not polished.
no.
We're not we're not gonna be polished. We're gonna swear. We're gonna say
PG-13,
things.
baby.
Yeah, we're not
PG-13.
gonna we might not say some of the things that you agree with and some things you may, and that's all about the debate and all about the podcast. Like you're more
Yeah.
than welcome to come on and and talk to us and have a conversation and everything like that. But you know, no disrespect to anybody if we cuss and you don't like it, but that's just who we are. And our industry isn't a polished industry.
Shop talk.
We're great people because we help people, but we're just real people at the same time. So, a lot of the comments that might be made on Toe Talk Nation and stuff, I do let them fly because you know what? If you're willing to have that conversation and start going back and forth with somebody, I hope you have the same tough skin, and have a conversation. You can debate without hating each other or anything like that.
Yeah, you can show your
So
opinion.
yeah, so never throw hate comments or
I
anything like that.
I
Never insult somebody in a sense of, just downright nasty stuff. Just
yeah,
if you're
yeah.
gonna swear, you're gonna swear. It is what it
Yeah.
is. They're just words. But what I will say is that if you're willing to go back and forth with somebody on there, just be ready for the back and the forth.
Yeah.
You know what I
Well,
mean? So
yeah, I definitely want to be real on these episodes. I don't want to be trying to mind every P's and Q's out there. As tow operators, do we get out of the truck and do we put on a face real quick for the customer or the member on what we're
oh,
taking care of? Of
absolutely.
course we
You
do. We,
have
we
to.
don't we don't
You
talk
have to
like
be
that there.
professional.
Yeah, of course. But this podcast, and I could say all day long, I want to be professional and this and that, but I really this podcast, I really don't think is for just everybody. I don't think this is for the customers that we're in front of every day. The people I hope that listen to this are the towers, right? So therefore, when I say that, the towers, the people in the industry, we're going to have shop talk with each other just like we would, because this is not performing service in front of a customer. This is talking about our industry, and the only people who are really going to be interested in what the hell we're saying or want to listen to us is other operators, other owners, people that are in the industry. So if we're not in front of customers, we're not in front of the regular stuff, then let's just be real in how we would talk to each other. I don't want to get too caught up in having to watch every little thing I say and every little
Right.
subject, because that's not real life, man. That's only the life in front of the customer, so you can represent your business great and be professional out there. But this is not that, is what I'm saying. I mean, I just want to be real, you know?
Yep. I agree. So enough about me.
Oh
How
shit.
about yeah,
Shit.
yeah. It's
Yeah,
got
yeah,
it. Hey, listen,
yeah.
it's 50-50 right here,
So
brother.
yeah,
It's
okay. Yeah, yeah. So I started, and check this out. This is a kind of a crazy story. So I'm in custom cabinets at the time, but the market, I'm building kitchens, right? The market crashes in 2008, if you remember that. Now we get to talk about that because we're 40s dudes, we're in our 40s, this and that. But the
man,
younger,
you had to say
yeah,
that. I thought we were just gonna let
I thought I
everybody
might let it
guess.
go. But but dude, when I look at the industry right now, dude, I see a lot of young kids. Okay, great. Well, most guys can't even drive a tow truck until they're 23 or 24 due to
Yeah,
insurance reasons,
insurance.
right? So
Yeah.
okay, so we're past that. So we don't got anybody younger than that really that has an opinion to weigh in on, unless you just grew up with the industry. But so I look out at the operators that we got in our company, and man, it's a mix, dude. I mean, I've got 60s, I've got 50s, I've got 40s, I've got 30s, and I've
Yep.
got less, to be honest, in the 20s, just to be honest. I mean, these younger guys are a little more crazy, a little more cowboyish. They put the six shooters in their pants, and they're just like,
Yeah,
"Bow, bow,
yeah.
bow, bow. I'll winch out everybody, dude. I'll pull your house off your foundation with my tow truck." And I'll put that bitch in four-wheel drive, and I'll head out, 3 miles into the woods and get totally stuck and ruin everything, just tear up the whole damn truck.
Yep.
So those are the young guys. So, you kind of want to, you're eerie of those guys a little bit more than the older guys is, they've already been through all the stuff. Um,
So you were
so,
building cabinets and the
yeah, so
industry.
I get into the industry. I'm like, dude, it's after 8, so the cabinet shop closes down. I was like, dude, I got to do something. I got to make some money somehow. What am I gonna do? And I'm young at the time. I'm in my 20s, later 20s, and I'm like, I see a repo show on TV. I don't even remember what it was called at the time. It was, you're talking about 18 years. You're talking about a long time ago. So I'm watching some kind of show, and I was like, I'll do that. I'm gonna go get a tow truck and I'm gonna start stealing people's cars legally. I'm like, fuck the system, dude. Fuck it. I was like, it's treating me how the market crashed. I'm losing everything, dude. I'm gonna go tear up everybody else. But dude, I'm young and have a lot of energy at the time. And I'm like, okay, so this is the crazy part. I'm like, how do I get in? I don't even know why, but I didn't even think to work for somebody. I didn't even think about it. Like I didn't think, oh, I should just
Yep.
go apply at a
Neither did
company down
I.
the street. I didn't think
Yep.
about it. And you know, maybe I should have. I don't know. Either way, so I find a tow truck for sale. And check this out. It's like a 96 Chevy 1 ton, right? And I find this thing for sale. Dude, I'm so green at the time. I don't even know the difference between I mean, I know they like diesel versus gas, the engines, like I'm learning
Yep.
everything. Like, my
Yep.
family, I didn't grow up with that. Them really talking about it all the time or whatnot. So it didn't cross my mind too much. It wasn't the world I was in when I was younger, right? Uh, you know, so either way, I'm learning about it. I grab a 96 Chevy 1 ton with an Eagle Claw lift in the back. Do you know? Have you seen an Eagle
Yes.
Claw?
Yes.
Dude,
Yes.
I bought
Yes.
a truck.
Oh,
Yes,
man.
I bought a truck. I wasn't even sure when I got there if it was. I couldn't even look at the engine, and I didn't know enough about trucks to even know if it was a diesel or a gas. Right? It was like a 454
Oh,
gas engine.
that's a big block. Well,
Dude, it was
that's
a
a big
beast,
motor.
man. It was
Oh
a
yeah,
beast.
that's a motor
So
right there.
so I learned how to tow with an Eagle Claw, man. So you've just got the 2 buttons,
Jeez.
right? Up,
Yep.
down, in, out, because the
Yep.
lift is like this and hits the
Yep.
tires,
Yep.
and then you just pray to God it stays on your truck. You pray to God. Asleep, baby Jesus, stay on. Let me get this car back to where it goes. So I'm running straps over there. I'm learning how to tow. And so here it kind of gives you the time frame, dude. YouTube is just now becoming a thing and like where we hear about it. And it wasn't even a big enough thing where I could go in there and ask questions. This is really funny. You
Yep.
you hit
Yep.
Facebook and you're saying like, you're trying to build this thing so you can ask questions back and forth. Dude, I didn't think about it. I didn't have any social media at the time. There was nothing. So and there's not really even YouTube videos, man. I mean, I
Yep.
was doing it. I don't even think I had an iPhone at the time. There that wasn't even the thing then. It didn't
Right.
exist. So, like like a Razor flip phone. You get the
Yep.
pictures are grainy. You
The
can't
no
even
the
hear
no
this.
the Nokia 960 or whatever, or the 3301 or whatever
Yeah,
it was with Snake
yeah.
on it. That was like the
So
thing.
so I grabbed this truck and then I'm like, well, what do I do? I mean, I need to get some work. I got this truck and I've got to, you know, I didn't have any money at the time. I had like, I don't know, I think I had like $6,000 and this truck was for sale for $6,000 at that time. Check this out. Yeah, I buy a 96 Eagle Claw truck. It's ratted out, tons of miles, like the damn thing. I'm lucky it works, right? And I'm gonna go try to start a tow business with this thing, dude. This is kind of goes back to what I was talking about. Like I would have gave anything to have a new truck. I would have gave any. Oh, dude, are you kidding me? Big man, look at this dude thing going by. So anyway, I get this Eagle Claw lift and I start trying to learn how to tow. Like I'm going to pick up my own car. I'm trying to like figure out how to do everything. No one showed me anything. Nothing. Can't find a video. I'm calling the guy who I bought the truck from. How do you do this, man? This strap looks weird. Does this look right? I'm doing all that stuff. And then I'm come up with a brilliant idea. I'm gonna go from one end of my town to the other end. I live in a group of like kind of four, cities. There's roughly about 500. Well, then there wasn't, but now there's about roughly 500,000 people around here now. But then there's a little bit less, maybe let's just say 400,000, whatever. And I'm going up and down this like 30-mile stretch, hitting shops, throwing out paper flyers that I printed off, dude, for
Hell
like
yeah.
$25 tows, trying to
Yeah.
go in and shake hands and kiss babies and be like, hey man, use me. And that was super rough. At the same time, I'm trying to get like little toes. And I also trying to learn about the repossession industry and trying to get in that. And, I found some car lots that gave me some opportunity to pick up their cars. At that time, some located, some didn't, and you're just trying to do research to find people, to skip trace and whatnot. And, I got into doing that for, oh shoot, a couple years. Well, I say a couple years, maybe 2 years, maybe. I don't know. Somewhere in this, it's a long time ago, man. I'm having to dig in the archives here and think
Yeah.
about it for a second. But me and my wife got pregnant, and she's having a baby, and neither one of us knew what we were doing, and so the repossession stuff that I was doing ends up having to take a back seat, and we're trying to figure it out. And I'm trying to go work at night while we have this little kid so I can stay in the daytime. And, long story short, I can't figure out how to do both. So I was like, man, I've got to go get a job and work for somebody at a time where I know I can be off and on. So then I ended up working for the first tow company that I worked for. Met the owner there, did the interviews, and got in. I actually picked up cars for him through the repossession side for a while, and then go meet him and decide to leave that alone and just go work into his office while I have a little baby. So then I actually got to be a dispatcher for a tow company, and it was a larger one. I say larger, most tow companies I think throughout the United States are like a truck, 1 to 5, right? Somewhere in there. And then, you got the big guys, but they're a small percentage of the overall industry. So either way, this guy's pretty decent size. I think he has like 7 or 8 trucks, and I'm in his office dispatching and, occasionally helping out towing during my shift. So I do that for several years while my kid is getting bigger, learning to walk and do all that stuff. And it wasn't until it made sense that I started going back to as a subcontractor to like a commission driver to jump back in a truck for that guy and start towing. So I did towing for a while for him as an employee, and went back in the repossession, jumbled back and forth. And then, fast forward a couple years, I got out and was like, man, I could do this again on my own. I could do it again on my own. So jumped out and grabbed another truck, a little newer one this time, but it was still a repo truck really at the time. It was like a Ford F-350 with a sneaker lift on the back. So it
Yeah.
looked a lot better. I was out there trying to get tows with it again because that's all I really knew on my own. And we did, dude. We started a tow company with that thing. And I, fake it till you make it, dude. I got on some police rotations, and it was crazy. They couldn't believe I was showing up in something like that to tow. I remember trying to do recoveries with that kind of truck. No winch. Just fighting every single day to get a dollar.
Jeez.
Every single day to get a dollar to make it happen. And then it slowly grows over time. We put in a lot of hard work, and we try to work the guy. We try to outwork the guy next to us. I had a partner at that time. I needed help, dragged him in, and we worked well together. We finally found an impound yard. We've got a flatbed, got on another police rotation, started working with some motor clubs, started doing cash calls, and building a tow business, man. And then you fast forward that a couple years, you go through all the growing pains of trying to find people like you did. I
Mhm.
got real lucky in the beginning and had a buddy who I knew really well, and who was a great operator. Because when you're starting out, you don't really think about how to train somebody. Like all that doesn't come until later. And when the later did come, it was really my wife when she quit her career and came into doing what I was doing in the business. That's when everything really changed for us, and we really grew. Like crazy compared to tow companies, right? We run.
Yeah.
We currently we have 2 companies, 2 states, and we got a roughly about 35, 40 trucks in each location.
Yeah.
So
Hell
I
yeah.
know I know what I'm talking about. We built it enough. We built it enough that I got time to sit here with my boy Julius and talk on the nation, which, man, I'm really excited, dude. I appreciate you doing this, and I'm excited to see what this turns into, man.
Me too. What I wanted to ask you, but not
Yeah.
to interrupt you, was
No, no, it's fine.
when over the years you had to make a lot of hard decisions. And ultimately they came to what it is today, right? And you made some right ones, you made some wrong ones, and ultimately you learned from that.
Dude, I've made
But
some bad ones, dude.
oh yeah, we all have. We
Yeah.
all have. But what were some of the hard decisions, or what made you today what you are today, making decisions that you did?
As the owner, we had to separate from partners. We had to, figure out direction. I was in the repossession industry for a while. We did that. I love that being when I was younger. I thought that, hey man, at least it's me coming to get your car, not the other dickhead down the street. Like I thought, really, like I thought that was it. But as I grew a little bit older, and the stories all were, I didn't want to pick up the car anymore where it was the single mom struggling with a couple kids. Like I was just
Yeah.
done. I was done with that, but I think the last straw, that was really tough is, my wife, at that time, she was a school teacher, and, she was a phenomenal school teacher. We wanted to spend time together, so she would jump in the truck with me, and we would go, pick up cars. Like, sometimes she'd just be sleeping over there, just to hang out because we couldn't see each other, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So she's hanging out, she's sleeping in the truck, and I'm picking up a car one night, and no big deal. I'm in a neighborhood, nothing crazy. Guy comes out with the hunting rifle and he's got me. He cocks that shit, and next thing you know, he's like, "Put the car down or I'll kill you." And you're like, "Oh my gosh." And I didn't have, in our states that we live in, you can open carry, you can conceal. This is easy. Here we're in the middle of the United States, so we got guns everywhere, man. And thank God I didn't have a gun with me. I would have probably gotten to a shootout with the guy because I didn't know, what to do. He stayed away from me the whole time, because you think with a guy's got a rifle on, you might be able to grab it. I'm a ninja. Ah, I've seen it on TV. I'll get you,
Nah,
bitch. But
I
but that the guy didn't do that. He stayed away from me about 20 feet and, it was real threatening. And, my wife was awake at the time. She was in the truck. And, this guy's out in the front yard and he's yelling and I'm yelling back at him. And I've got the truck. It's like a minivan, dude. This is crazy. This guy's willing to kill somebody over his minivan. And I'm not saying nothing about a minivan, but damn, dude, damn. Either way, the guy's wife comes out. This is late at night, it's 11 or 12, and she's screaming at him, "Cliff, put the gun down! Cliff, put the gun down!" He's not putting it down, and he looks like he's real serious. And I can never get close to him, so I'm trying to tell him, "Dude, I'm putting the car down, man. I'm out of here. But I gotta get it. I gotta." And I don't think he ever knew my wife was in the truck, and she's calling the police. Like she's on the phone with the police. Like we can't get out of here. We're stuck. Like I'm hooked to the damn car, but this car wasn't rolling. Was the problem? That's why I was out of the truck. I don't know what it
Yeah.
was. I don't remember what it was, but there was some reason. Of course, I've got this stupid Eagle Claw truck, man. I got this Eagle Claw truck and you can't just tear off. You've got to strap it
Yep.
up. And I
Yep.
remember being hooked up weird and I couldn't get away from the truck real easy. So I was underneath the truck trying to undo the straps while this guy's got a rifle on me. And he's yelling and cussing and giving me a hard time to get away. And I'm telling him I'm doing it, I'm doing it. And she's on the phone with the police and I finally somehow get the car. I don't even know how, but like this guy's distracted. Somehow he gives the rifle to his wife. She's like all over him. And, then it's on. All of a sudden now I'm up in his face pushing him and I'm just trying to get the hell out of there. Long story short, I dragged the car out to the roadway and, the police all come, and it's chaotic, man, but hey, I got the car. I got the car. I
Hey,
got the
and
car.
you're here, and you're still here.
Yeah, yeah, and
You're still here. I mean,
I thank God that I didn't have a gun. There was no shootout. We didn't kill each other, but it was an eye opener for me and my wife. We're like, we have a family, like we're doing this thing, and this maybe isn't the right career. Maybe this
yeah.
isn't really what we're doing. So, which is fine. A lot of people love it and they don't mind those situations. And I continued to have to do it for a little while longer, obviously, but she didn't go with me again. And I
Yeah.
don't blame her for that. Like, there's no reason for it. So, I decided that I would, instead of being a part of everyone's worst day, because that's what you are, and a lot of people love that and they work good at it. It just maybe wasn't the best for me emotionally over time. It was awesome in the beginning, dude, hunting the dude down who doesn't want to make his car payment. I'm like, I'm gonna get you, man. You go a couple states away and you jump in a car, rip out of a gas station, like, ah, it's awesome. Dude, it's like a feeling like no other. And that was the best
Yeah.
part about it. But all the other parts weighed on me. And, I started working for a transport company delivering cars local with our trucks. And then I started working for AAA and other things and doing cash calls and the people that I interacted with there in towing made me just feel better, dude. I always
Yeah.
feel better. I had a bigger deal, and
100%.
I said, "You know what? I'm probably not gonna go back to the repossession world ever," and I haven't been in it since then. So, talk about it. I love everybody who does it, but it probably wasn't the best for me. So we moved out of that and now we do, our company today, we would describe me and my wife, cause it took me a while to get her out of her career in teaching, to get her over to us. But once she got over here, we like tripled in size. We blew up. And some of that is also, thankful to the partner we had at the time, bring in work and whatnot, which was great. It got us to this point. So we really grew, and now we got a much bigger fleet, and we refer to ourselves as the Chick-fil-A of towing. How does Chick-fil-A get all the people to say "my pleasure" when you drive through there. This is crazy, dude. Have you been there? Dude, they say "my pleasure."
Uh-huh.
They're so nice, and they're like, "Oh, how do you do that, man?" So we
Well,
tried to take that into our company, and we push that out now with all of our members and customers who call in. We just try to be the Chick-fil-A of the towing industry, man, and
you know
that's
what?
and that's worked for us. So
That
there you go.
that that's a good point because you just change sometimes change people's perspective on, what you're doing. You make their
Yeah.
day a little bit better.
Mhm.
And when I used to show up to calls, anytime I show up to call, I try to be as nice as possible, smile, be professional. And sometimes it's a shitty situation,
Yeah.
depending
Yeah.
on,
Sometimes you can't change it. Yeah.
yeah, and sometimes you don't need to smile. I mean, let's face it, like somebody just got in an accident, you show up, and they're all distraught. They don't know what's going to happen to their car. They don't know how this is going to work out with the accident, whose fault it's going to be, and all that. And sometimes you don't even get to interact with the customer. But if you do, just play off of their emotions in a sense of what are they feeling? How would you
Oh
feel if
yeah.
you were in that situation? You know what I
Hey,
mean? Like just treat them with some kind of
I'm with
respect
you. Yes.
and
And I
and
think,
just
yeah.
go ahead, bud. Yeah, go
Hey,
ahead.
well, we got that topic right there. I want to revisit in a different episode because I think
Yep.
when it comes to customer service and all that stuff and the industry, we have a whole another hour. OMG.
Yeah.
Dude, I
Yeah.
mean, I'm excited, man. I think that the subjects that we'll have, the people that we have coming on in the future for episodes, of course, we're going to draw a lot of that out, and we're going to get better as we go. I promise.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll get some cool soundboards and stuff like that. I don't know. Maybe we won't. Maybe we won't. But but regardless, we
Well,
got a lot of stuff coming up, man.
and I would love to hear, from the nation to see what you guys would like to see if we could get a hold of the people that you would like to talk to or like us to interview. There's some people in the industry that, you'd like to hear from or find out what their perspective is, how they did their business, or whatever the case may be. Just
Yeah,
people in the industry when it comes to what they build, what they supply for the industry, dispatching software, insurance, whatever the case may be in your industry that might be plaguing you or you need help with or something
yeah,
you just want to hear and talk about. Like, we're going to have open sessions for that. Now, how do we get there? We're going to make those contacts. We're going to make those, people realize that, it's important to get into the public's face and the industry's face to show them who they are and what they're about and how they operate and what they could do for the industry. So,
yeah.
we would love to hear from you. I mean, you could start a thread on Facebook, wherever,
Well,
and make
that's the
sure,
ticket right there.
yeah, make sure you tag us, so that we could see the comments and everything. We can get alerts to figure out what you guys want to do. And again, we have certain connections in the industry. I'm not saying we
Oh
have them
yeah.
all, but we
We
could
got a lot,
definitely.
dude. We got a
We
lot, man.
do.
I know a lot
We
of people, baby.
Yes, you do. And we're gonna reach out to them for you all. And when I say guys, I mean girls too. Like
Yeah.
there's a lot of women in the industry. We respect them. And we appreciate everything they do for the industry.
I hope we
So
have
when I
several
say
on.
guys, yeah, when I say guys, I mean girls and guys. Like we are going to touch base on a lot of those things on what everybody does for the industry because women could be in the truck, they could be out of the truck, they could be behind the scenes, they could be everywhere in the industry and they do help a lot in the industry.
Yeah, of
So
course, man.
we want to touch base on the women's side of the industry when it comes to being in a truck, running their own businesses for anything industry tied and get their perspective on things too.
Yeah. Well, I'm not saying a woman needs a man, but behind every strong man is a probably stronger woman, and I feel that in my life constantly. You know.
Hmm.
So, like you said, and we'll close this episode out here just in a second. Like you said, I think we're going to be doing a lot of clips, 1 minute clips of the episodes that Julius will be posting. I'll be posting, and if you guys do want to talk about anything or a subject line or hit us up about anything, I think the best way to do it is to like and comment on the little clips, right? Don't you think? That way we
Hmm.
can interact with that and then we can get what's coming next. So we'll get a
Or
couple topics for episode 2 and we'll be hitting it, I think, next week, correct?
yes, and if you guys want to start a thread anywhere on the group or anything like that, make sure you tag us so we can have that conversation in between the next podcast. I think that would probably be one of the best ways to start that conversation and get a feel for what you guys want to hear and what you guys want to, see on the podcast.
All right, Julius, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate your time, dude. We see each other next week, and we'll get going, man.
Yeah, sounds great, man.
Closing
I
out
had a good
episode
time.
one. Woo
Yep, that's
woo!
episode 1 down
All
for the
right,
count. It's in the
hell yeah.
books. Looking forward to doing more and really getting this thing going in a sense of everybody joining and having a good time and figuring it all out, right?
All right, guys. Hey, everybody in the tow industry, you guys stay safe on the roadside. Pay attention, man. Live another day. Love what you're doing. See you guys. Have a good one.